Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry I'm late. I have an excuse, though. Uh, Probably everybody just left and Bumblebee will be here because I just texted her. Yeah, I'll tell you why I was late in a minute. I have to tell you about my cat. Had her blood test and it's not good. And I have to tell you about my garden produce. Yeah, and the things I've been doing about YouTube. Janet K, hi. I'm glad you're here. I thought everybody would just leave and not find me again. Sorry I'm late. I think Bumblebee will be here in a minute. Yeah. I knew the time was passing. I hadn't put the, this thing here. Hi, Bumblebee. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know if anybody else will find us or not, but yes. I have been on the phone with my son, is the reason I'm late. I didn't want to cut him off. I haven't talked to him in a while. Every time I would try to call him, it went to voicemail. 6 in the chat already. Wow. Yeah, it wouldn't connect. It went to voicemail. And my granddaughter left today on a cruise into the Gulf of Mexico. Well, the reason he wasn't answering because he's tracking her. He's tracking the ship. He can track it because he can track her phone. Yeah, so he sent me a picture exactly where she is because they just left. They sailed out of Tampa. It's not one of those huge cruise ships. This ship is owned by Jimmy Buffett. Yeah, it's the Margaritaville Cruises, I think they're called. The ships are smaller. They're still big, but yeah, he owns two cruise ships. One sails in the Gulf, I guess, and down toward South America and Mexico, and the other's on the other side and sails into the Caribbean. And Jimmy Buffett owns an island in the Caribbean. Talking to your son's important. You need to make a generic post to put on if I'll be late so we know you're okay. I know. Well, I didn't think I'd be on the phone that long. Right. Something I could just click on, I suppose. I don't know. I was way across in the other side of the house. I wasn't even near this computer. Well, yeah. Maybe for my phone, I'll have to look up how to do that. There must be a way. Oh, thank you. My son said that I don't know what time they sailed out of Tampa, but you know where they are right now? They're right across. They're out at sea, but they're right across from Anna Maria Island. I wonder if she can see Anna Maria. That's where we at the house. Yeah. He says it looks like the ship is standing still at the moment. So my son says maybe they're doing that whole uh, before they get out and you know at sea more. They're probably doing that safety thing. I don't know if any of you have been on a cruise, but uh, once they get started, you do that safety thing where they call everybody out. You have to put on your life jackets. They do the whole thing, you know. But yeah, this cruise, they go down where you can swim with the dolphins and you can it's all kinds of things on this cruise. My son says Ava, that's my granddaughter, she owns 10 bathing suits. Ah, I don't know if she just got that many for this cruise. Heaven forbid she should have to wear a bathing suit twice. Uh, every girl dad needs to track. Oh, he tracks her all the time. Yeah, he tracks both the kids. Mm, yeah, we never had that. Well, we never even had cell phones. We never even had these iPhones when my kids were little. We didn't have any of this stuff. Ah, yeah. So I guess it's better in that way. Uh, 10 in the chat. Well, thank you all for coming, even though I'm late. I was thinking all day of how to do my garden video because I've got to get out there and tear those cucumbers out of there so I can at least walk in the garden. Because I can't even walk through my garden. The vines of the cucumber plants are all over the ground, and I can't even get to the huge zucchini that's back in the corner. The zucchini's no good anymore for me. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. It's like this, but it'll be good for the chickens because it'll have lots of seeds. Um, but I have a tremendous amount of tomatoes. They are all ripening at the same time, and I brought one to show you. They are huge. Well, I have cherry tomatoes and I have Roma tomatoes also, but these are I think the beefsteak ones. And let me tell you, I had one for lunch or part of one with a chicken salad, and these are so sweet. They are delicious, and they're getting ripe too fast. I can't eat that many tomatoes. And my friend Judy came over yesterday, and she brought me a dinner of she made chicken noodles and gravy and stuff, and I tried to get her to take some tomatoes, and she had just bought a bunch of tomatoes. So, yeah. And neither of my kids will come all the way out here to get them. So I'll be eating tomatoes. I think tomorrow it'll be cheese sandwiches with tomato. I have to think of different ways to have it. I'll end up having to make some into sauce because I can't eat this many tomatoes. Yeah. Jerry says he's going to Greenland next month on a 2-week cruise. Debbie, why does it say Jerry Smith? Is that's just the name you come on under? Ah, that's pretty smart, though. Uh, yes, you'd know a lot more about making tomato sauce than I do. I can only freeze. I don't can. So, and I learned from freezing tomatoes last year. I learned that I need to skin them first and mash them up. See, what I did last time, I just sliced them up and put them in a bag and froze them. Well, they're not good. There's there's so many seeds in the ones I had last year, and I don't know. What do you do about all the seeds, Bumblebee? Uh, I suppose you can sort of poke them out of there. Ah, yeah. Bumblebee, you need to send me a good sauce recipe that I can just freeze, that I can make and then put them in freezer bags, flatten them out, you know, make make the sauce. Because I've seen that's a good way to do it is to make the sauce and then you put them in freezer bags and smush all the air out and then they lay flat. Do I have a Foley mill? No. I don't even know what that is. Uh, no, I don't have that. Now, about my cat. My cat had her blood work done, and they do a fructosamine, which is sort of like a doing a person's A1C. It takes an average of the last 3 months. I don't know how it does that on a thing of blood, but Jerry says, or Debbie says, pull the tomatoes off green. They will ripen slowly, but they will turn red. I live in Michigan. And when I return to Florida, I bring back the green ones and enjoy them later. Yes. Oh, I think the very first tomato I brought in, I was anxious to get it, and I brought it in, it was like half green, and just set it in the window and it got ripe fine. Yeah. A hand turned crank that leaves the skin and seeds behind. Oh, that would be wonderful. A Foley mill. Hmm. I didn't even know there was such a thing. That's how big of a cook I am. I have an apple peeler. That's it for as far as things that you crank. Uh, Things that you crank. I was going to get a salad spinner at one time, and I never did. I never got one of those. And I do have a chopper. It's a little plastic container, and the lid, you put stuff in there, and then you turn this crank, and it has a blade inside. And I used that for years. I still have it. I think it's in the drawer where my pots and pans are, under the window seat out in the kitchen. Uh, yeah. Maybe Judy has one. I'll have to ask her. Yeah, she's the cook. She's a big time cook. However, she had to move into a tiny apartment now. She probably had one when she was in her big house, but she's in a tiny 1-bedroom apartment now, and her kitchen is tiny. I don't know how she can stand it because she cooks all the time. But I'll ask her. Yes, I still have half a loaf of my homemade bread that I made a few days ago, and so I think tomorrow I'm going to have a toasted cheese sandwich with on that bread with tomato. That sounds really good to me. Oh, I was telling you about the cat. See, I easily get distracted. Okay, the cat's fructosamine level was off the charts. So nothing that we've done so far has helped her. But that's because, number one, I'm feeding her too much. I can't stand that she stands in front of me constantly meowing. So she was on 3 units of insulin, which I thought was a lot, but she was only supposed to get a half a can, a little 3-ounce frisky, not Friskies, um, that other one. Um, Now it just flew out of my mind. The little 3-ounce cans of cat food, you know what I mean. Uh, Only a half a can twice a day. That's hardly anything. And she can only have like a little handful of kibbles. And I had to send for the weight management kibbles because they have less carbs. You think you saw on YouTube you could just wash and freeze a whole tomato, skin will split, and then peel easily after frozen. Fancy feast. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad you're here. You provide my words all the time. Uh, yes, so I went up and they had given me the wrong syringes. So I went up there, and that's when they told me about, they didn't have to call me then. They could just tell me about her horrendous, it's up in the 600s someplace, her blood sugar, her blood fructosamine level. So she upped her insulin to 5 units twice a day. And she said, try to get the like the low carb or the weight management type of food, even the canned food. And Fancy Feast does make one. So I ordered it. I had to order it actually to get it right away. I had to order it from Amazon. And it came this morning before I even got up. So I was afraid she wouldn't like it, but she loves it. She loves anything to eat. So that's what she had, and she'll get it again for supper. And she got her 5 units this morning for the first time, and she'll get 5 units tonight. It just seems like such a lot. And the doctor says, don't worry, she's not going to overdose. But she's trying to get her back, out of this, back to somewhat normal, so we can reduce the insulin amount and keep her on a certain amount. So, yeah. So she was, I don't know if it's my imagination, but I think this afternoon she was acting less beggy. She wasn't standing in front of me the whole day. She even went outside for a while and laid on the deck, and she didn't seem to be so frantic about eating. So I don't know. Is that a good sign? So hopefully This will get her back on track. I don't know. Of course, the weight management food is a lot more expensive, but it's not near as expensive as the vet. There is a vet kind that you can get just for diabetic cats. That is just off the chart expensive. She ain't getting that. I'll get the weight management one that has fewer carbs and it's higher protein, which she needs. So the garden, there's a few huge cucumbers out there, but they've turned yellow. I mean, they're just full of seed, really full of seeds now. So I picked some today and they're huge. They're like this long and this big around, and they're yellow. I didn't even know cucumbers turned yellow, but I never waited this long to pick them. So I cut one up and took them out to the chickens along with some spinach, and they were happy. So they'll get cucumbers for the next few days. I picked some. I'm going to put them in the refrigerator because the one I gave them today was warm because it's in the sun out there. But I've got to get out there and clear that garden out because there are some things I can now plant at the end of August or early September. You can have a fall garden. And if I clear all the cucumbers out of there, I'll have room to do some you can do root plants. Like I can plant carrots and beets for sure. And they said that I can replant some a type of a lettuce. What was that? Rainbow something I planted. Well, that was early in the spring. I used that up right away. I only had very little of it. Yeah. My beans are done. I let the last crop of green beans get too old and they were got too big. The little beans inside the bean got way too big and they're tough then. They're not good to eat then. And unless you have heirloom type seeds, you can't save. If these had been the heirloom green beans seeds, I could take the seeds out of there, dry them, and then use them next year to plant. But they aren't that kind. The heirloom green beans aren't. See, I have the bush kind of green beans, and I don't think they have those in the heirloom. That's not how they used to be. Used to plant them on it like a trellis. So, well, that's what's been going on around here. I haven't got a hold of my daughter. Well, she's been texting me all day. She's been, and I can't tell if she's been working and texting while she's sitting in her car or if she's at home because she was looking up all things about the healthiest oils to use and the healthiest. She's all into this eating healthy right now. And she's also into grounding, if you know what that is. She told me that I need to buy myself a grounding sheet. You put it on your bed. It has a wire that you put out the window and you drop it down and stick it in the ground. And it's supposed to be wonderful for arthritis and all kinds of pain. And she says they only cost like $90 or $100, but I had read someplace they were a lot more expensive than that. But maybe I was looking at the mattress. They have a grounding mattress too. Maybe that's what I was looking at. Yeah. I don't know. I cannot once in a while I'll go out there and take my shoes and socks off and sit with my feet on the ground. But she does it all the time. Now, uh, she had taken her blood pressure because she has trouble with her blood pressure. She had taken her blood pressure before she did it, and then she sent me a picture of it after she grounded herself for half hour or whatever she did. And her blood pressure was low, much lower. So I don't know. It's supposed to be wonderful for you, but our mother would never let us go without shoes. So we never had, you know how kids can run around with their bare feet and they develop, you know, they're able to do that. They're able to run all over with their bare feet. I can't take 2 steps with my bare feet. That's how tender my bare feet are. Now, I don't know if they if it would have mattered if I did it as a kid or not, but yeah, I have to get into the chair out there and then take my shoe I can't walk, even on the grass, because I don't have a soft lawn. I have a country garden. I have a country lawn, all kinds of weeds. In fact, I had overseeded it with pasture grass for the chickens. Plus, there's all kinds of nutshells and stuff from the trees. No, you can't just walk across in your bare feet. It hurts. Uh, Hi, Bryland Farm. Okay, Bryland Farm. Can you walk in your bare feet or does it hurt? As an adult now, can you walk in your bare feet? We were discussing grounding. I can't take 2 steps. Yeah. No, I can't either. Uh, my feet are, I don't know how they got so tender. It's from wearing shoes and socks your whole life. You're, yeah, you stand on an area when they're, I have to go sit in the chair and then take off my shoes and socks. Uh, and then I can sit with my feet, bare feet on the ground, but there's no way I can walk. Uh, Once you get to an area you're weeding, yeah, right. Ah, well, with your hand, if you don't wear gloves, that counts as grounding. It when you get your hands in the dirt, you know. Uh, oh, you're on your phone. Uh, yeah, that counts as grounding too. It doesn't have to be your feet. You can put your hands in the dirt, like when you're weeding. I used to love to weed without gloves on, with my hands in the dirt, the warm dirt. My husband never understood that. I made him put his hands in the dirt one time. I said, "Don't you feel that? Don't you feel how good that feels?" And he had no idea what I was talking about. Ah, yeah, now I have the problem of getting down on my knees to put my hands in the dirt. Janice says, I always need something on my feet. Yes. Yeah, me too. And I used to wear sandals all the time. I'm wondering if, I used to walk on the beach in my bare feet when we were in Florida. And think of that. That counts as grounding too. So that was the last time when we were in Florida on the beach that I would do that. But then I would put my sandals back on to walk up to the house. But yeah, I wonder if I could still do that. Walk on the beach in my bare feet. I suppose. Uh, Anna Maria, the beach has had really nice sand. Joan Torres says, yes, I can walk barefoot, walk on the grass, but not rocks. I can't even walk on the grass. I grew up barefoot on the farm. See, love going without shoes. See, I think that probably counts. If you grew up being able to do that. Brylan has lots of wood chips. I wonder if that interferes. I don't think so. If you read about it, I don't think that interferes because it's something natural. Wood doesn't conduct energy. Right. You'd have to look it up. I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up. But I know sand, I thought that they said you can even be barefoot in mulch, and that's wood. And even on cement, if it's not treated, it doesn't conduct electricity. Yeah. I think that would be good. I think it would be okay, but I'd have to look it up for sure. It's very interesting to read about grounding. I had heard about it long time ago, and then my daughter just in the last year, she discovered it, and then I, you know, looked up more about it. Yeah, I think the wood chips would be fine. But depending on is it like shavings or just sharper wood chips? Now there's wood chips that I wouldn't want to walk on, but then there's, the kind of shavings that I use for my chickens. I think that wouldn't hurt to walk on. As far as pain, I mean, thick shavings, yeah. I have the bigger shavings too. Ah, yeah, I wish I could go barefoot. But Joan says she grew up barefoot, so she can go barefoot now. So it must matter. Our mother was very protective. We were probably the only kids in the neighborhood that had to wear shoes all the time. Uh, Throw you a blanket on the ground or wear socks. I think your bare skin, I don't think you can wear socks to ground. I think you have to, your bare skin, I think. I have to ask my daughter. She's knowing all about it now. I think you have to take your socks off in order to ground. Uh, I don't know. I certainly should go do it now because I'm not going to do it in the winter. Yeah, that's the trouble with up north. You can only do your grounding uh, in the nice weather. You can't do it in the wintertime. I have to look up about the grounding sheet and tell you about that. My daughter wants me to get one. My eye is twitching again. That is so irritating. I wonder why that has started to happen to me. I used to get that once in a while, years ago. I don't know if you can see it. My eyelid is just moving a little bit. Twitch, twitch. Oh, leather sole shoes work or cotton socks. Oh, Joan, you must know something about this. Yeah, Joan, do you know about grounding? You must. Yeah, leather soled shoes work. I don't even think I have leather soled shoes. Or cotton socks. Hmm. Interesting. Well, folks, this is going to be a short one tonight. Yes, welcome, Joan. You've been on here before. I remember your name. Yes, because I have to give my cat her medicine and put the chickens away. I noticed that it is getting dark earlier. This is the first night I've noticed that, but it's only a little after 8:30 and it's very much dusk out there. Uh, Yeah. Well, I think it was what, June 21st? It was all downhill from there. Back to not as much daylight. Uh oh yeah, you learned about it a couple of years ago. Ah, good. Do you do it often? Have you noticed any difference in doing it? My daughter's all for this. She does it every day. Yeah. I just don't remember to do it. But I have one of those garden kneeler things, that you can carry into the garden and then you can kneel on it. It has a padded place. And then you can put your hands in the dirt. So I think that's what I'm going to take out there so I can clear out those vines. I think some of them have to be carefully cut so they don't tear down my tomato plants because they're like producing like crazy. Yes, it's amazing what the medicines you can get from plants and from natural things. And things that this earth can do for you. Joan's always barefoot, but not on rough surfaces because you're 77. Yeah, you want to cut your feet. But I have started walking without shoes in the house. But then I don't want to, I have wood floors mostly, except like I have a couple oriental rugs here and there, but mostly wood floors. And I thought, well, I don't want to slip with my socks on. I'd be better off walking barefoot, which, yeah. So, Kiki, hi. Oh, you just came. Well, I was very late. I wasn't here till 8, so don't feel bad. Yeah, you can go back and see what my reason why I couldn't come on till 8. Well, I'm glad you found us, Kiki. Yeah. So I am going to close, but I will be back. I promise. It's 7:30 Thursday. I will be back, and we'll talk then. In the meantime, let me see what my weather's going to do. If it's not rainy, stormy, it's not supposed to rain till Friday. So, in the meantime, I will try to get some pictures of the garden and do some walking around or some grounding. Tell you how it goes. I'll be sitting and grounding. Yeah. Kiki, my kitty, is in worse shape than when we started the insulin. So now she's on 5 units of insulin starting this morning. Her fructosamine levels were over 600. Super, super high. Terrible. And then I have to feed her a different kind of food. Yeah. So I will see you Thursday. I will try to be on time. And hopefully have some good topics. Good night, Brian. Good night, Joan. Thank you for stopping by. And I will see you all then. Thanks, Bumblebee, for calling me. I appreciate that. And I will see you then. Yeah, poor old kitty. She's not happy. So see you then.